Hey guys, it's Roy here from Marwelco12 and EpicDroid.com, and we're here today to look a massive unboxing. So I went on a site recently, it's KSL Classified. It's basically the version of Craigslist here where I live. But went on there and was able to find a great deal on a bunch of cards. Now, I didn't look at them too closely because I was kind of in a hurry. I had my 3 kids in the car and we were trying to get out of there before traffic and stuff, so I didn't get to look at everything too closely. I did do a quick glance at some of the stuff in the bag here to see what was in it, and I was convinced that I needed to buy it. But now we're going to dive in a little bit further, see what's in there, and see what kind of goodies we got this time. So, starting out, we have a Ixalan box here, and as you can see there's a bunch of different cards. We got some stickers. Oh, those are labels for these card things, I'm guessing. We got some card sleeves, or cards in card sleeves. Got a couple of the quick reference guides and some deck guides. Looks like it's possibly from a Planeswalker deck. Maybe, we'll see. We'll dive more into those in a second here, but we got that. We got this, and this is what convinced me that I wanted to get the whole package. But it's a Hours of Devastation Fat Pack, or Bundle Pack, whatever they call them now. Got a couple of good things here, and as you can see there, that is still in the shrink wrap and has not been opened. So, I'm going to be saving that for a separate video. Then, we also got a unopened... Which one is this? Hours of Devastation Planeswalker deck, the Nissa Genesis Mage. So, that. And then, we have this big box here, which had me super excited at first because I thought I was going to be getting a bunch of cards, but there weren't as many cards in there as I had hoped. So it looks like at one point they had a Ixalan Fat Pack or Booster Pack here. We got the book for that. Then they had a empty box from a Jace Planeswalker deck. We got a pack of sleeves here. Just the red ones, which is good because red is my favorite color. And then we got the Huatali, I guess is how you want to say it, Planeswalker deck. Haven't looked at this one too closely yet, but it looks like there should all be there. We'll have to check that here after the fact. And we got a nice little box here. Got a couple of cards. Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver. And Throne of the God Pharaoh. Let's see. I think this is a Planeswalker deck. Okay, yep, so when Visage of Bolas enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver, and reveal it, put it into your hand. Search your library this way, shuffle it. So basically, this is another Planeswalker deck here. I'm beginning to think this guy likes Planeswalker decks. And here we have another one. First card we have in there is Chief of the Foundry. It's a foil uncommon. And a bunch of other cards. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pause this. We're going to get things situated. And we're going to dive into this a little bit more, see what actual cards we got. But as you can see there, this was a great deal just for the fact that the number of cards that I got. And the fact that I paid as much for this whole thing as it would have cost for me, to get this box brand new. Okay, so we set aside the one unopened Fat Pack and the Planeswalker deck, and then the shields and the empty boxes. We put those off to the side. We don't really, I shouldn't say we don't care about those, but those aren't important for this video. We're going to go and we're going to look at these here. I do think this is mostly just a Planeswalker deck, but you know, it doesn't hurt just to see what we got. I mean, as you saw with this, it didn't look like there was much of an organization system. It was kind of all over the place. So we'll see what we got here and go through that. Okay, so we broke that one up into a couple different piles. We got our basic lands here with a couple of extra lands just with the add red or white mana. We got all of our commons here, mostly dinosaurs it looks like, if not all dinosaurs or characters or cards that are related to dinosaurs. Then we have our uncommons. We got a couple of Bonded Horncrest. Bonded Horncrest can't attack or block alone. 5/5 that cost 4. We got Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike deals up to 3 damage to target creature or player. Got 2 of those. A Rallying Roar. Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Untap them. And Huatli Spurring. It's a 1-cost instant. It says target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. If you control Huatli Planeswalker, this creature gets +4/+0 until end of turn instead. Got 2 of those, or 3 of those. So those are the uncommons. And here we got the rares. We got a Burning Sun's Avatar. When Burning Sun's Avatar enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to up to 1 target player or creature. That's a 6/6 that costs 6. We have a Sunblessed Mount. We got 2 of those. When Sunblessed Mount enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Huatli Dinosaur Knight. So that's this one here. Reveal it, then put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So it's a 4/4 that costs 5. And when you play it, you can look in your library or your graveyard to pull out the Planeswalker there. Then we have a Goring Ceratops. It's a 7 cost, 3/3, double strike. Whenever Goring Ceratops attacks, other creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. And then last but not least, we've got the Huatli Dinosaur Knight. It's a legendary Planeswalker. It costs 6. Starts with 4 loyalty. +2, put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target dinosaur you control. -3, target dinosaur you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. And then -7, dinosaurs you control get +4/+4 until end of turn. So that could be a really good card if you're playing with the dinosaur deck there, if you're playing with this deck, which appears to be a dinosaur planeswalker deck. Let's see what we got in this one. So the first thing we had in there sleeved was a Chief of the Foundry. It's a foil uncommon. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. It costs 3 and it's a 2/3. Oh, whoa, so we have a Sky Sovereign Console Flagship. I have not seen this one before. It costs 5. It is a mythic rare. It's a 6/5 with flying. Whenever Sky Sovereign Console Flagship enters the battlefield or attacks, it deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Okay, so in this box here, which I'm kind of excited for the box. The guy looks a little funny, but I like the box, and it's a cool little one there. I'm going to probably use that for some dual decks or something that I share with my son. We had a whole bunch of commons. It almost looks like this one was just a bunch of booster packs that were combined back in there. I'm guessing 5 booster packs based on the number of rares and mythic rares. And yeah, it was 5 booster packs that he had just put back in. So I've got a couple of tokens there, nothing exciting. Got a bunch of planes. Not sure where all the extra lands came from. There are some extras in here that would not be included with a normal booster pack. Oh, a whole bunch of commons. Not going to look at all those right now, but if you guys saw any that you want me to come back and cover for you, feel free to hit us up in the comment section. We'll let you know what we had there. Then we have our uncommons. So we got a couple of them in here. We had a Fabrication Module, Arborback Stomper, Aether Meltdown, Aerial Responder. Quick side note for you guys, Arborback Stomper is quite possibly my son's favorite card. He's 8 years old and he loves it because it comes, when you play it, you gain 5 life. He's got like 3 or 4 of those in his deck and he loves to play them as fast as possible so he gets extra life and can beat Dad. But then we have Blossoming Defense. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Cloud Blazer, Perpetual Timepiece, Visionary Augmenter, Brazen Scourge, 3/3 with haste. Decoction Module. Disappearing Axe, Shrewd Negotiation, Oval Chase, Daredevil, Durable Handicraft, and that Chief of the Foundry from earlier. Let's look at the rares. Those are what we're really here to see. Okay, so we already looked at the Sky Sovereign Console Flagship. I'm excited for that one. I want to see how much that one's worth. Then we had a Madcap Experiment. I've got 1 or 2 of those already. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an artifact card. Put that card onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Madcap Experiment deals damage to you equal to the number of cards revealed this way. Girapur Orrery. Each player may play an additional land on each of his or her turns. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, that player draws 3 cards. Ooh, that could be a really good one or a really bad one. But yeah, play 2 lands a turn and draw cards if you don't have any, but it also benefits your opponent as well. It's a pretty nifty artifact there. Electrostatic Pummeler. When Electrostatic Pummeler enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. Pay 3 energy counters. Electrostatic Pummeler gets +X until end of turn, where X is its power. Blooming Marsh, it is a land. Blooming Marsh enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. Add black or green mana to your mana pool. Okay, so there's some decent ones in there. We'll have to price those out here in the next little bit. But let's go and let's open up the next box. Okay, so this is the one I really like. I like that Lion Folk or whatever he's called. And this is that one that looks like it might have part of the Planeswalker deck in there. Got a dice. Which set is that from? An Ixalan dice. I'm guessing that was from the Fat Pack. So this one looks like it was a Hours of Devastation booster, or I'm sorry, an Hours of Devastation Planeswalker pack around that Nicol Bolas. However, it looks like there might be some extra cards that snuck in. I mean, these ones definitely snuck in. It's just a bunch of commons and a token from Amonkhet, which pretty sure those did not come with the Planeswalker deck. I'll have to play with it a little bit later, see if I can put it all back together and set that up and maybe play around with my son or something. But so here's all the commons. Nothing that jumps out too crazy. Then we had a bunch of lands. We had a bunch of dual lands, or whatever they call them now. Oh, missed those ones. Let's go in the commons. Yeah, nothing super exciting in here. So then we have our uncommons. We have a Bloodwater Entity, an Obelisk Spider, Sheffet Dunes, Eternal of Harsh Truths, Burning Fist Minotaur, Manticore Eternal, another Manticore Eternal, a couple of Wasp of the Bitter End, Burning Fist Minotaur, Eternal of Harsh Truths, 2 Eternals of Harsh Truths. We have a Hope Tender, Dagger of the Worthy, Torment of Scarabs, Crypt of the Eternals. This one's all around that Nicol Bolas card. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. You tap it to add 1 uncolored mana to your mana pool, or tap it and pay 1 to add blue, black, or red to your mana pool. And there's 4 of those. Those actually look like could be useful. Here we have our rares. We have a Visage of Bolas. When Visage of Bolas enters the battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver, reveal it and put it in your hand. You search your library this way, shuffle it. It's an artifact that you can then tap and add blue, black, or red to your mana pool. We have Throne of the God Pharaoh, legendary artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. I don't think that that's part of the Planeswalker deck. That's also from Amonkhet, but I could be wrong. Resilient Kenra. It's a 2-cost creature. It's a Jackal Wizard. When Resilient Kenra enters the battlefield, you may have target creature get +X until end of turn, where X is Resilient Kenra's power. Eternalize, which costs 6. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie Jackal Wizard with no mana cost. Eternalize only as a sorcery. We have Emit Eternal. It's a zombie crocodile demon that costs 3 and it's a 5/5. Afflict for 3. Whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a -1/-1 counter on Emit Eternal. When Emit Eternal deals combat damage to a player, remove all -1/-1 counters on it. We have Jiro or something with eyes open. Legendary creature, Human Warrior. Vigilance. When Jiro with eyes open enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a Planeswalker card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. If a source would deal damage to a Planeswalker you control, prevent 1 of that damage. And then we have Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver. He costs 8 converted mana, so 5 non-colored, 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red. He comes with 5 loyalty. He's got a +3 loyalty. Each opponent loses 3 life unless that player sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card. -3, destroy target creature, draw a card. -11, Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver, deals 7 damage to each opponent, and you draw 7 cards. So that could be a good one here. So, as you can see there were a couple of good cards in that one as well. Also included in the box was a little separator that goes with the box. I didn't see one for the other one, so we'll have to see if that's somewhere else in here. But let's go ahead and let's open the big one and see what we got in that. So this here is the big box, and this is the big mystery. And oh, there's that one card separator we were missing. I'll put that over with the other box. And then, but yeah, this is the one I'm most excited for just because I have no idea what is in it. So I got all those stickers so we can label our little tag separator things here. So holy cow, that was painful. That came out with a ton of commons and 1 foil common. And then we have a bunch of lands and tokens, and I'm still not sure what the organization method was on these ones. It looked like there were a couple of booster packs bundled together at the back of it, just based on the token and lands and the way that they were alternating. Then we have a bunch of uncommons that are from multiple sets here. Looks like mostly Ixalan, and then the, I think it was Magic 15, yeah, so the 15th edition or whatever they call it now. I guess they were mostly just Ixalan, so this was probably from a combination of a Planeswalker deck and the Deck Builders kit, or the Fat Pack, not sure what's going on there. But yeah, lots of different cards in here. I'm actually kind of excited to see what all's in here and go through it a little bit deeper. We got a treasure map, we got a Maverin Fine Dusk Apostle, legendary creature, it's a vampire cleric. Whenever one more non-token vampires you control attack, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Captain Lannery Storm, whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a colorless treasure artifact token with sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Whenever you sacrifice a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Fel Flagship, pirates you control get +1/+0 whenever Fel Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Grasping Current, return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand, search your library and or graveyard for a card named Jason, Genius, Mind Mage, reveal it, blah blah blah, so you can pull him and put him out. So yeah, those 3 at least are from a Planeswalker deck. He is a 6 cost, 5 loyalty, +1, draw a card, +1, untap all creatures you control, and -9, gain control of up to 3 target creatures. That could be a fun one. Then we have Sword Point Diplomacy, Carnage Tyrant. We'll just run through some of these. Carnage Tyrant can't be countered. He's trample and hexproof. He's a 6 cost 7/6. Repeating Barrage, Old Growth Dryads, Sunbird's Invocation. Whenever you cast a spell from your hand, reveal the top X cards of your library where X is that spell's converted mana cost. You may cast a card revealed this way with converted mana cost X or less without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's going in my red-green deck that I've got. Put that over there so I don't forget it. Herald of Secret Streams, search for Azcanta. Priest of the Awakening Sun, a foil rare. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal a dinosaur card from your hand. If you do, gain 2 life. Cost 5, sacrifice Priest of the Awakening Sun. Search your library for a dinosaur card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Dreamcaller Siren, Fleet Swallower. Whenever Fleet Swallower attacks, target player puts top half of his or her library rounded up into his or her graveyard. Holy ouch. That could be painful. It's a hard one to play because it costs 7, but that could be fun. Entrancing Melody, gain control of target creature with converted mana cost of X, where X is what you're paying. Settle the Wreckage, exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. Soul of Ravnica, and Soul of Zendikar. So yeah, there's a bunch of fun cards in here. I'm excited to see what else I can do with this with all these cards. As you saw there is definitely going to be some organization required. They're kind of all over the place with these, but we'll go through them, see what we can figure out, and get them organized and get something going with them. But if you guys have any questions on any of these, if you want to trade for any of them, feel free to hit me up in the comment section, and we'll see what we can do here for you. If this video has been helpful to you, if you've enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up, and remember to share it with your friends. And as always, just want to tell you guys, thank you for watching, thank you for all your support, and you all have an awesome day.